What is up, nerds? My name is Noah, and today we're going to be doing something fairly cool. This is the first episode in the series where I am going to do some one-in-one Dungeons and Dragons role playing with ChatGPT as my dungeon master. Let's see how this goes. And I want this to be more than just like me typing stuff in. I want to create a character and then start a story with the chat and see how long we can keep it alive and how interesting we can make it. I want to see character development and yeah, really see how we can get going. But today we're going to start by making that character. If you don't know, ChatGPT is an AI with a massive language database. You type in questions and it answers as humanly as it can with the information of the internet. So, for example, we will start by saying, can you make me a 5e character complete with stats, modifiers, and a list of abilities and spells? If, of course, that class is a spellcasting class. And then this character should be around level 3, male, and have an original name befitting his race. I specified that because the more general you are, the less original you're going to get. The more specific you are, the more randomized it's going to seem because the specific things you're putting in as inputs are not going to be the same. So you'll get a more diversified output. Okay, let's see what we got here. Ooh, a half-elf bard named Rise. Okay, I'm down with that. I like getting a rise out of folks. Pretty strong, fairly dexterous. Okay. Negative wisdom and very high charisma. I'm down with that. So let's bard around with Rise. That's how you say that, right? RHYS. Rise it is. Pretty cool. It's given me the ability score modifiers, my proficiency here. Performance, that has me at +6, so I guess my proficiency bonus is 2 here. See, I have Bardic Inspiration, Jack of all trades, which makes my proficiency bonus higher. Looks like my spells, let me copy these down, are going to be Vicious Mockery, Minor Illusion, Cure Wounds, Charm Person, and Sleep. So that's cool. We have stats, we have proficiencies. I think this is going to be more like a text-based adventure game than it's going to be like nuts and bolts Dungeons and Dragons. But we'll see. We'll see. But before we get into any of that, we gotta have a backstory. Like, why do I bard? What makes me want to do such a thing? So let's ask this. Can you make him backstory complete with a coming of age struggle, his family makeup, and the reason he eventually left home and became an adventurer? Again, the more specific you get, the cooler the answer. So let's see what it comes up with for Rise's backstory.
Rise was born to a human mother and elven father, and grew up in a small village on the outskirts of a great forest. Despite being of mixed heritage, Rise was always drawn to the ways of the bard and the power of their music. However, his mother wanted him to follow in her footsteps and become a farmer like her, while his father wanted him to learn the ways of the elves and become a ranger like him. This caused a rift between Rise and his parents, and he often felt like he didn't fit in anywhere.
Can relate. Both to being of mixed heritage and not quite feeling like you fit anywhere. That happens sometimes. Moving on.
One day, Rise was tending to the crops in the fields, and a group of bandits swept through the village, ransacking homes and stealing everything of value. Rise watched in horror as they killed his mother and burned down his family farm. In that moment, he knew he could never go back to the life he once knew. He wandered the forest for days, subsisting on whatever he could find, until he stumbled upon a group of traveling bards. They took him in and taught him the ways of their trade.
Yo, that got real fast. Killed my moms, burned down my family farms. Crazy. I do like how it starts off with like Rise out working in the crops in the fields like his mother, and then after she's killed, he's forced out into the woods to kind of subsist off of whatever he can find, like a ranger, but ends up finding a home with the bards. Definitely a jack of all trades.
Rise learned quickly and soon became one of the most talented bards in the group. He loved the freedom that came with traveling from place to place and the thrill of performing for new audiences every night. However, as he got older and more skilled, He felt a restlessness within him. He wanted to explore the world, to see all the sights and sounds it had to offer, and to use his talents to make a difference in people's lives. And so, Rice sets off on his own, becoming an adventurer and using his magic and charisma to bring hope to those in need and to right wrongs whenever he saw them. Despite the danger that comes with being an adventurer, Rise feels more alive and fulfilled than he ever did as a farmer or a wanderer in the forest. He carries with him the memories of his mother, the lessons he's learned from his father, using them to guide him on his journey.
What?
It's honestly a little eerie. Like, it took elements of his backstory and stacked them into a narrative that had a conclusion that wrapped those things together. It's very cool. I do think we're going to need a little bit more information about Rise. Did Rise have any siblings? Okay, brother or sister? Rise had an older brother. Come on, don't be coy. All right, Rise's older brother was named Thorn and was a farmer like their mother. Thorn stayed behind in the village to tend to the farm and take care of their family after their mother's passing, while Rise chose to leave and become an adventurer. Well, what happened to Rise's father after his mother's death? After Rise's mother's death, his elven father felt a deep sense of guilt and responsibility. He saw the tragedy as a result of his own stubbornness and refusal to listen to his wife's wishes. He decided to leave the village and wander the forest, seeking redemption and trying to make amends for his past mistakes. Man, okay, so he was kind of an adventurer himself. It's unclear what became of him and whether he is still alive. Wow, maybe we'll meet on the adventuring path one day. A bard is only as good as the martial classes around him, so let's see if we can't find some. Where is the first place Rise wants to head after leaving his merry group? Okay, it's up to you. Here's a suggestion. Rise may want to head to a nearby city or town where he can put his bardic skills to use by performing. Oh, nice. He may also want to gather information about new adventures and challenges. It's starting to push us towards a story on its own without me even prompting it to. It does look like, yeah, let's get some performance in. So, what is the nearest town or city where Rise can play? Oh, the nearest town or city where Rise can play is not specified. It would be up to the player or dungeon master to decide where Rise will go. Okay, well, you know what? This is a good time for me to ask the question. Can you dungeon master a 5e story with me playing as Rise? Let's try that. Okay. Whoa. That's weird. Okay. So, this is a great place to stop because I actually need your input. It says, certainly, I'd be happy to help facilitate a Dungeons and Dragons story with you playing as Rise. Before we start, what type of story are you interested in? A combat focused adventure, a mystery to solve, role playing heavy experience. Additionally, what is your preferred level of difficulty? I can adjust the challenges to match your desired experience. Holy crap. Okay, yeah, we're doing this. Yeah, I know there's not a lot of people watching right now, so your input actually matters a lot. So why don't you tell me in the comments which one you'd prefer? Or if you think I should just pick something I prefer. Right now, I'm leaning towards the roleplay heavy experience, but if you want to see it, a more combat focused one or a mystery to solve, let me know. We'll make it happen. But yeah, I'll see you here soon. Peace.